If you follow these 3 rules at the recording studio, your engineer is gonna love you. Number 1, respect time. What does respecting time look like? It looks like booking your session in advance. It looks like showing up on time or even early. It looks like managing your expectations with what you want to do with the time that you've booked. It looks like respecting the engineer's schedule. And it makes you look like a serious artist who understands the value of time. So booking in advance, respecting the engineer, showing up on time and showing up early even, all of these things will make your engineer love you, because when we are in the studio, we are booking by the hour. Nothing is more annoying than working with an artist who booked a minimal amount of time, they show up late, and then they want to rush through the entire session, and honestly, it can cause tension within the session, which throws off the vibe of the song. But nothing is more annoying than having to go through that kind of situation, all because somebody did not respect time. Let me break down a little bit further what I mean by managing your expectations. If you booked a 2-hour session, which is going to be the minimum that most studios require, I would say that make sure you are not necessarily expecting to be able to knock out an entire album, an entire EP within that 2-hour time span. Even rappers who can get through songs in 30 minutes, in 20 minutes, I would not recommend that you knock out 4 or 5 songs in 2 hours, just because, in my opinion, you are really not giving the very best performance that you can, and therefore you're not providing the best song that you can to your audience. So when I say manage your expectations, have a healthy understanding that you need to give each song the respect it deserves by giving it the time and attention that it deserves to make sure that it's right and to make sure that it is a good representation of who you are as an artist. If you are not managing your expectations and you're just rushing through all of the music, well then what does that say about how you feel about your own craft? It says that you don't really care, you're just trying to get this out really quickly. And a lot of times it makes you look like the kind of artist that is just there because you think this is all sweet and you think it's a quick flip or something. It's not. Music is so much deeper than that. And you would do well to make sure that you are respecting your time, the engineer's time, and the time that you put into your music. People can hear whether or not you put in the work, whether or not you put in the time. So make sure you're being mindful. Number 2, ask for help. If you do not understand how to do something, if you are looking for a particular effect, if you want the engineer to do something but you're not exactly sure how to explain it, or you're trying to get a particular performance out of yourself, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to admit that you don't know something, and it's okay to say like, hey, I would like for you to tell me if I am not doing X, Y, and Z. I want this to turn out the best that it can, so please lend me your opinion if I am not giving my best performance in your professional opinion. Although the engineer is not your vocal coach, most of the time, the engineer, if you are respectful and your music is dope and you just have good energy about you, people are willing to help. But also as an engineer, I'm not going to automatically give my opinion because I don't want to infringe on your creative process and on the story that you're telling and how you want to tell it. So if you want the engineer to speak up and help, make sure you let that be known. I've been in a couple situations where usually when I have a new client, I don't automatically offer my opinion because I have offended people in that way before. Especially when you're working with bigger name people, they tend to already have their way of how they want to do things and they don't really want any outside opinions. So this can be tricky if you're on the engineering side of this, but when it comes to new clients who do want that input, simply ask your engineer. I've been in a situation where I was working with a new client and I did not give my opinion right off the bat. And the artist never told me that they wanted my opinion, so we just went through the 2 hours and they did what they did and then they left. Only to find out a few hours later that he spoke to the owner and said, yeah, the engineer wasn't really giving me the energy that I wanted. And that's not very fair to the engineer when you did not communicate that you wanted more. You wanted more of a collaborative effort. So if you're an artist and you've ever felt like your engineer was not giving you the energy you were looking for, I would like for you to ask yourself, did you let that be known? We can solve that problem with that. And then the other thing with asking for help is if you've never been to a studio before, if this is your first time, you might not know how to use certain things. You might not know how to adjust the microphone. It is far better to ask for help in doing something, to adjust the height, to get things more comfortable for you to record. It's better to ask for help than it is to risk damaging these things or breaking these things. And then you're coming out of your pocket an extra few dollars because you broke some things and you messed up some things in the studio. To avoid that, just ask for help. And then my last point with asking for help is if you want a specific effect, but you're not exactly sure of how to vocalize that because maybe you're new and you don't know what that effect is called yet, just try to explain it to the engineer by giving them the example of a song. Something that has been very popular over the years, especially when Drake first came out, is everybody wanted that underwater sound. Now, as an engineer, I know that is a low pass filter, but a new artist is not going to know something like that. The common thing that I will hear is, I want to be like Drake. I want to sound like I'm underwater. And for me, in my engineer ear, I know exactly what that means. Thank you for telling me that. Now I can give you the effect that you want. Or another effect that is really popular is that echoey, reverby sound effect that Travis Scott uses on his ad-libs. A lot of people really enjoy that. So if you give me an example, point me to the song that you want your voice to do what this guy's voice is doing right here, let me listen to it and let me let that happen for you. And then I will educate you and be like, all right, so this is called underwater effect or low pass filter, or this is called reverb and delay. And then when we work in future sessions, you have a better understanding of how to ask for what you want. Point number 3, listen to your engineer. As I mentioned earlier, it is not the recording engineer's job to be your vocal producer. It is not the recording engineer's job to tell you how to sing something, how to rap something, how to perform it. The recording engineer's main purpose is to make sure that y'all are recording a clean sound so that when it's ready for mixing, you're going to get the most quality mix you can out of the record. This also falls in line with asking for help. If you don't understand how to do something or the engineer needs you to do something differently, make sure that you are listening to the engineer. So sometimes that might come in the form of saying, hey, stand this far from the microphone. Hey, when you are going in for those higher notes, back off of the microphone a little bit. Hey, when you're going in for those softer notes, you can actually scoot into the mic a little bit more. Technical things like that. It's the engineer trying to make sure that they get a clean recording out of you so that you can have a clean recording to send to the next level of production, which is going to be the mixing and mastering aspect of it. When you listen to your engineer, you are making sure you get the best possible results for yourself, for your song, and the listening experience for your audience. Thank you for tuning in to LexChat. If this helped you, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. In the comment section, let me know what topics you want to chat about next. But until then, my name is LexC. Peace.
Have you thought about your actions and consequences?